Hey, what's up, guys? It's Tech, and welcome back to my channel. And today we will be looking at the complete review of the Honor Magic 3 Pro Plus 5G. We will be covering its specs, its camera performance, its chipset, its battery, its screen. So, without wasting any time, let's get started. So, the Honor Magic 3 Pro Plus comes with a 5 cameras that is outstanding if you look at the camera bump of this phone. That is a very futuristic phone. In case you don't see the Huawei Mate 40 Pro Plus 5G. The Honor Magic 3 Pro Plus is the eyes of the Muse Beauty of Order. As you can see, the camera bump of this phone is very huge. That cover up to 50 to 45% of this phone area back covered. On the other hand, the Honor Magic 3 Pro Plus 5G using the bigger screen and the greater enjoyment, because you got a screen that is 89 degree curvature, that is 120 Hz refresh rate, that is a true 10-bit color, the HDR10 plus screen. Also, you got to see the 120 Hz refresh rate and extraordinary features. The Honor Magic 3 Pro Plus 5G is using the 6.7 inches flexible OLED display with the DC-IP3 white color gradient, and it is also the HDR10 Plus certification, the color accuracy Delta E, the 1920 Hz high frequency PWM-I protective. That is the screen of the Huawei Magic 3 Pro Plus 5G. The frame material they are using the high transparency, high toughness of the curvaturability that is using in the Huawei Honor Magic 3 Pro Plus 5G. That they are using the metal frame that is light and more responsive than the other. Also, you got to see the back also in the glass that is very much Gorilla Glass Victus or the Gorilla Glass 5, that is very tough and very strong than other material that is used. Also, we got to see the Honor Magic 3 Pro Plus 5G in two colors, the black and the white. I personally like the black ones because it's the camera bump in this device looks awesome. And the Honor Magic 3 Pro Plus 5G is also IP68 water and dust resistant, and it is the next technology of water resistant. As you can see, it is using IP6810. The Honor Magic 3 Pro Plus 5G is ready for all conditions, like you can use in the water and you can use in a dust storm. The main highlight of this phone is the large sensor of this cameras, because they are using the 5 cameras, that is 64, 48, 64 megapixel cameras. The main camera they are using the 50 megapixel wide angle camera with the aperture of f1.9. That is a large sensor. The sensor they are also using the same sensor they are using a Xiaomi Mi 11 Ultra also. But this device also came with the 50 megapixel ultra high HD imaging camera with the aperture of f1.9. The pixel size of this camera is 1.22 micron. That is equivalent to 2.44 micron. That is because of the bending technology of this sensor. That is 7p optical lens. The other lens is the TOF lens, that is for focusing based on real-time deep information detection, the greater depth of field, wider, faster and more accurate focusing at night. This sensor is also for the great focus and also for great nighttime photography, because it is using the new algorithm of the camera. The periscope camera, on the other hand, they are using the 64 megapixel ultra HD imaging camera. That camera has never been used before. That is the first one to feature the 64 megapixel periscope camera, because if you can see on the other brand, they are using the 16 megapixel or 32 megapixel for the telephoto camera. But Honor Magic 3 Pro Plus 5G is the first one to using the periscope 64 megapixel camera with the aperture of 3.5. The optical zooming is 3.5 times, and the hybrid loosely zooming is 10 times. You can also see the 100 times digital zooming with the OIS optical image stabilization. The ultra wide angle camera is also the 64 megapixel with the aperture of f2.4, and you can see the 126 degree ultra large angle. It's also HD micro photography, that is ultra wide camera. The multi-spectrum temperature sensor, that are the first time they are using in Huawei Honor Magic 3 Pro Plus 5G. It is designed to balance the algorithm that separate the light information from the camera to use the color accuracy by 29%. You can also see they're using the black and white camera up to 64 megapixel with aperture of f1.8. I mean, why? Why are you using the 64 megapixel only to black and white? I mean, sure they can. You can also see that the next generation technology they are using in their phone, because it is using the 8 color grid technology, the 50 megapixel main sensor that is using. It is using the 8 bit color technology. You got to see 8 different frames and 8 different aperture, 8 different exposure, light, everything, and then combined to a one single image with the more accurate colors and a deeper contrast ratio. They are using the next algorithm to the fast and the feast of lightning. Because of this algorithm, there's no low noise, and they are capturing the high detail and high lightning. As you can see at this image, they are using this new algorithm for this new camera technology. The 64 megapixel ultra wide lens is 126 degree angle, so you got to see the high quality image with the next algorithm and the ultra high HD technology. As you can see, this image that is far more beyond and far more greater than other images as we've seen on the ultra wide angles of the other camera phones. The macro photography on this device they are on the next level. As you can see, this photograph there, I mean, look at this. There is next level of the photography. We got to see the 100 times zoom, but the main zoom is the optical zoom is 3.5 times. As you can see, that is 3.5 times, no loss in details, no high dynamic range and high contrast ratio. But in 10 times zoom, you got to see a little bit of color losing and color gradient and loss of the colors. Of course, you get the 100 times and you got to see the loss of details, loss of colors, and loss of quality. The focus there, the 8 into 8 times the 3.5 optical zoom, so you can get a focus that is using on the next level. As you can see, the low light image, on the other hand, they are using the 50 megapixel main camera and 8 into 8 tough sensor, so the nighttime focusing is very faster, very efficient, and very color correct than the other smartphones. The front facing camera is 32 megapixel camera with the high degree ratio, that is 100 degree, so you can capture wider and brighter and colorful. The Honor Magic 3 series also combined with the IMX technology so that you can use for film like movies. So you can see the different version of that. There is long exposure, cool color gradient, etc. and etc. The Honor Magic 3 Pro Plus 5G also come with the zooming audio zoom technology, so that you can zoom and you can also pick the sound of the zooming object. So they are using the three microphones for the algorithm. As you can see, one on the top, one on the camera bump, and one on the bottom. They are also using the Dolby Atmos technology plus the dual stereo speakers for the ultra sound algorithm. This device is based on the new algorithms of pretty much everything like camera, screen, sound, audio zoom, and pretty much that is coming in this video. The Snapdragon 8, the Huawei Magic 3 Pro Plus is using the Snapdragon 888 Plus chipset. That is the first one that is using the Snapdragon 888 Plus chipset that's combined with the new high efficiency chipset that is based on the 5nm, and that is 29% faster, 29% efficient, and faster than the Snapdragon 888. As you can see, the OS Turbo X3 engine's upgraded performance, so you can enjoy your game from the low latency, anti-egging, and the smart memory engine. The gaming Turbo X, the ultimate engine, so that you can get a FPS of the Snapdragon 888 Plus and higher performance and lower power consumption, so that your game is stable and also in your battery. They are using the Honor in the Honor Magic 3 Pro Plus 5G. They are using the heat dissipation technology, that is ultra thin liquid cooling heat dissipation system, and also that is 14% lower in the temperature. So that means your phone is cooler than your surroundings also. The Snapdragon 888 Plus chipset is also 50% higher than 50% higher efficient than the Snapdragon 888, so that you can see that they are using the 50% higher graphene, so that make your phone cooler. The Honor Magic 3 Pro Plus 5G is using the 46 mAh battery for the great performance, and also featuring the always on display. So that was pretty much everything, and we got some more spec sheet of this device. Let me show you of this device. So the device released in August 2012, and we got to see the glass front, ceramic back, and aluminum frame, also IP68 water and dust resistant. With the display, on the other hand, they are using the OLED technology, 1 billion colors with the 120 Hz refresh rate and HDR10 plus content. The display size is 6.7 inches, and the screen to body ratio is 94%, so that means you got to see the thinner bezels. And the screen is also equipped with a quad HD plus resolution. Because of DCI-P3, you got to see 456 ppi density. The OS, they are using the Android 11. They are using their own UI, that is Magic UI 5 with the Google Play service. The chipset they are using the Snapdragon 888 Plus chipset with the GB of Adreno 660. There will be one variant of this device that is 12 gigs of RAM and 512 gigabytes of storage. Of course, we got to see no SD card slots. So the main camera, they are using the 50 megapixel with the aperture of f1.9 with a 1.22 micron size. We got to see 64 megapixel of telephoto, 64 megapixel of monochrome, and a 64 megapixel of ultra wide camera. There is no 8K recording, but you can see that it is recording the 4K up to 60 fps. And now let's talk about the selfie. So they are using the dual 13 megapixel selfie with the aperture of 2.4, and that is ultra wide camera that is using the 1080p. That is also using the TOF sensor. So you got to see the better focusing and the clear dynamic range on the selfie camera. We got to see the 1080p up to 30 fps on this camera on the front. Of course, they are using the stereo speakers, and there is no 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. The Wi-Fi, they are using the Wi-Fi 6, and the Bluetooth is 5.2. That is the latest version. They are also using the NFC for the greater performance. The USB, they are using the USB Type C 2.0. The fingerprint, you got to see the under display optical fingerprint with the Face ID, because we got to see the touch sensor. So the Face ID of this phone will be very fast and very efficient. We got to see 46,000 mAh battery with a fast charging of 66 watt, and there's also fast wireless charging of 66 watt and reverse charging. We got to see these two colors, the ceramic black and the ceramic white. And also it will be launching, and starting price is 1500 euros. So that was some leaks of the Honor Magic 3 Pro Plus 5G. If you want to know more about the smartphone, then subscribe to my channel and leave a like and comment on this video. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.